guys, it is Glossy Locs here, and I'm coming to you to kind of talk about the reason why I started my lock journey. It may be a little bit challenging for me to tell the whole story, but I really wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's important for you to know. Yesterday, I made 1 year. I started my locks February the 29th of 2020. And I started with 2-strand twists. Originally I had 75 twists, but I ended up combining 4 locks into 2, and now I have 73 locks in total. In 2019, I found out that I was pregnant on May the 29th and that I would be due to have a baby January 25th. Pregnancy was challenging. I remember saying to people like I'm having every pregnancy symptom that is listed. Like I'm just going down the list and it's just marking them off. Nevertheless, I was really excited that I was going to be a mom. This would have been my first time or my first child, and I was really excited about everything, just everything. As my pregnancy went on, I got put on maternity leave around October. Then I just went into full-on prepare mode, like cleaning, preparing. I had a whole nursery, and I was really proud of myself because I bought everything by myself. Because I wanted to remain in a place of peace during my pregnancy. I didn't want to be stressed. I didn't want to argue. I didn't want to do any of that. And so for the safety and protection of my child, I decided to cut off communication with a lot of people, and one of them being my child's father. Begin to that point, kind of relax into my pregnancy, kind of being like, okay, the hardest part is over. I just have to look forward to labor and delivery. So I went to the hospital maybe 2 or 3 times because I was having like pain or contractions. My water hadn't broken or anything, and this is around November still, because I remember it was around my baby shower. I was really sick, throwing up, the whole 9. And I remember going to the ER that night to get fluids because I was so afraid that I would be dehydrated because I could not keep anything down. And everything was fine. They hooked the baby up to the monitor and they monitored me. They gave me IV fluids, and I was released to go home. I would say maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, so now that we're in like December-ish, I continued to have like, you know, like back pain or whatever, but I started to kind of exercise. I got one of those exercise balls, and I would do like the hip and then like the bouncing on it. And looking back, like I don't know if that contributed to the ultimate demise of my son, but I remember I did that like a lot, and I would like be bouncing because I was like, oh, I want this baby to come in the beginning of January instead of toward the end of January. In January, I remember like around the New Year's, I was at home just kind of like watching TV, spending time with, you know, I would say spending time with my baby because I knew his schedule by then, when he would wake up, when I would eat, like how he would react. And I was just always like touching my stomach, rubbing my belly. And in my mind, I would talk to him a lot in my mind and tell him that, you know, like I loved him and I can't wait to see him and I'm very excited. And I would like listen to music. I was so crazy. And I don't know if first-time moms ever experienced this, but I didn't even want to listen to anything with like curse words or to watch anything that was too violent because I didn't want my baby to be exposed to that. And yeah, so fast forward a couple of days, I got to the point where I couldn't like lay down in bed, and it just hurt too much, and I was having like a bunch of heartburn and everything. So I would sit up in the nursery. I had this like lazy boy chair and I would sit up in the nursery and I would kind of just watch TV, try to get sleep. I couldn't sleep more than 30 minutes at a time. And I remember having pain, like contraction pain. And I was just timing them. They say, like, you know, they told me when I went to the hospital the last time that, you know, don't come back unless they're such and such minutes apart or whatever. And they were consistent. So I would remember I had like contraction, like a contraction, it'd be like 5 minutes, and then I had another contraction, and then it'd be like 9 minutes or 10 minutes before I had another one, and then it would be fluctuating like that. So I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to go to the hospital at that time because I was timing them, and I had did that all night. I remember that was probably like a Thursday. And when I woke up in the morning, because we had some visitors at our house, I told my mom, like, could we please, you know, just go to the hospital? I want to just get checked out. Like, I feel like I'm having these contractions, even though they're not regular. I want to, you know, I just want to be extra careful. So I went to the hospital. They hooked me up to the monitors. They monitored me for about 2 hours. Everything was fine. They checked me. I wasn't dilated at all. My water hadn't broken or anything. They just said, you know, these are pre-labor contractions, you know, keep on resting and, you know, eat what you can and all this other stuff. So me and my mom left there, and I remember we went to one of our favorite breakfast places and we had a meal, and then we went home. And like I said, that was like a Thursday. On Saturdays, my mom had woke up. I remember going to sleep and sleeping really, really hard Friday night, like just like a really good sleep. I don't even know if I had got up to go to the restroom or anything. And I woke up on Saturday, and normally I'll wake up early, and you know your baby's schedule. So I know that I normally wake up, and then he wouldn't wake up until about a couple of hours after I would wake up. And then he would start moving and kicking, and it would just be like, oh my goodness, babe, okay, I'm gonna go feed you something. And I remember laying in bed, and I was like kind of watching TV, and my mom came in my room to check with me, and I was like, yeah, you know, okay, see you later. And then maybe like 30 minutes had passed by, and I was like, baby isn't up yet. That's weird. And I remember like getting up, and normally when I would get up out of the bed, it would be like a struggle, like my stomach would be like just in the way, or almost like resistance. I don't know how to describe it. But I remember getting up, and it was easy for me to get up. And by this time I was way out there. I was really, really pregnant. And I remember thinking, well, maybe like the hard part's over, so now I can rest. I got a good night rest, and I'm able to kind of like move a little bit better. And I remember like in order to go side from side, I would have to like literally like have my hands like guiding my belly to the other side of the bed or whatever. I laid in bed for about another hour or so. Like I said, I wasn't concerned about anything. I knew my baby's schedule. And I remember feeling on my tummy and being like, baby, are you okay? And I started kind of like poking around on my stomach, and he didn't respond. Literally guzzled like a whole giant cup of cranberry juice. And I was like, well, this is definitely like gonna wake him up. And I went to lay back down, but I was just getting very anxious, very, very nervous. And I went into the nursery, and I found the Doppler, and I put it against my belly, and I couldn't hear anything. And I was still saying, you know, I'm not gonna panic because I don't want to get stressed out. And then I started to be like, all right, I'm gonna go back to the hospital. Like something isn't right, but I don't want to panic. So I checked into the ER. I told them I hadn't felt my baby move since last night, and they took me up, and I was, you know, they do the whole process. You undress, you put on the gown, you lay in the bed, and the nurse came in to attach me to you know, the monitor. So they put the belt around you and this kind of like this circle thing that they put on your tummy. And she was putting it on and she was like, well, where do they normally find the heartbeat? And I said, anywhere. Like, and she was moving it around, and there was nothing. And I remember being like, immediately being like, my God, like, this can't be. Like, am I awake? Am I dreaming? Like, what's going on? You know, like, is my worst, I remember thinking, is my worst fear like coming true? Did this really happen? Is this happening? Like, is this real life? So the doctor came in and they proceeded to give me a visual ultrasound, and he explained to me that they couldn't find a heartbeat. And I remember just losing it. I was like screaming and I was crying and I was just like hysterical. So I gave birth to a baby boy. I named him Arrow Laith. And arrow is a symbolization of protection, and Laith, Laith, is Arabic for lion. So my baby was really strong. He kicked my butt my whole pregnancy, he really did. But on January the 5th, he was born asleep. Beautiful baby boy, and he looked so much like me. And I had so many plans. I was meticulous with my planning on how I wanted to raise him, on where he would go to school, on how he would dress, things that I would teach him, the values that I would put into. I had so much planned. And one of the plans that I had for my son was for him to have locks. And obviously I didn't get a chance to fulfill that plan that I had for him. But the one thing that I could do was lock my hair in memory of my son. So that's what I did. So a little bit over a month later, I decided that I was gonna go ahead and 2-strand twist my hair. What are you doing? You know, I'm honoring my son by locking my hair. So as my hair grows, it'll be a reminder of the life that he could have had. This recently, when I got my 1-year anniversary for my locks, I thought, you know, my baby, he would be 1. He would have been 1 year old. And it's something that keeps me motivated, something that keeps me excited. I'm taking care of something that's attached to me, just like he was attached to me. So that is why I started my lock journey. I hope this video wasn't too long. Share your experience if you ever were a mom or a dad who is a parent of an angel, a baby born asleep. Let me know in the comments below. You know, let's encourage each other. If I can get through something like that, my absolute worst nightmare, if I can get through it and I'm alive today right here, I want to encourage whoever you are, if you may be watching and this is something that you've gone through or you're going through, that you can make it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be so hard, but you can do it, because I literally thought that I was going to die. Like, I begged and I cried because I wanted to die. But here I am 13 months later, and just taking it one day at a time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you.